Mount Rushmore for his best friend. So there's more connection to the little house on the prairie
than people realize.
Yeah. And the sad point is, there's no descendants. Mary never married. Laura had one baby boy, one daughter and one baby boy. The baby boy never survived past 12 days old. Her daughter grew up to be Rose Wilder Lane, and this is Rose's book here. She had one baby boy, and he died.
Oh, really?
Caroline and Charles had one baby boy, and he passed away. So there's 3 generations of baby boys, and that leads me to believe, I wonder if it's genetics. I'm wondering if it's genetics, simply because. And so when Laura's daughter Rose grows up and she passes away, there's no continuance.
Huh.
And the other 2 girls, Grace and Carrie, never had children. They raised stepchildren of husbands, but they never had any of their own. And the only thing I can think of is the long winter and the starving time afterward must have affected their health. I mean, in long term, because they never had any children to go on. And you can even go online and print off their obituaries right out of DeSmet.
Really?
You can. Renee Hill got it online, and she printed off, and so I've got them somewhere at the house, and I can't locate them, but I've got the actual obituaries. So that's the first house. Oh, you can actually go and visit all of these, although this one is still the reproduction. This is all of the little houses. Well, of course, this is autographed, but it's not Laura's autograph. But you can actually do those, and something else that Tam sent me. Here is an actual plum from Plum Creek. Tam and Paul and the boys went up there last year, July. And so the plum hasn't grown very big, but this is July, just hold on. This is July 2009, and that's a plum off of Laura's Plum Creek. She said, Mom, I don't know if we're allowed to pick things like this, but we could get into trouble. So, but she says it's real, it's dried now, and it's real small, but it would have grown up and matured to plum size by August, September, you know, before the frost. And then this is another piece of some of the prairie grass that was out at their house.
It's hard to imagine the prairie.
We have no idea, do we?
They had very few trees, right? Well, there were some trees there.
There were some, yeah, especially along the water lines, the creeks and bottoms and places like
where
that.
they would have built their cabin.
So,
How'd you get started with this stuff?
let's see, I had been reading Little House on the Prairie with our other kids, the other older girls in our special ed.
With your own children and the special
children? Yeah, and in the special ed class, and Kaylee had seen me reading with them. And she was...
She really got into this, didn't she?
Yeah, because I asked her the next year, I said, Kaylee, I said, what are we going to read this year? And she pointed to the Little House books on the top shelf, and I thought, at that time, she couldn't even write her name. And I thought, well, let's look for something else a little bit easier, and she wanted that. And I thought, well, okay, I'll make a deal with you. Everything we read about, we're going to do. And I mean, you could see her little ears smoking. We started...
So you all started doing this?
We started rolling logs. It's a big brown grocery stack that you slit up the back and you pop out the corners and your paper's about this big, and you roll real tight and glue the edges, rubber band them, let them dry overnight, but you have to do 6 a night because it takes 6 logs to make 1 course around. And so we would roll 6 logs every night and then I would hot glue them on while they were eating their breakfast. So it took us to this part here before it starts sloping in. It took this to November.
Oh.
And Mrs. McLaughlin came and she said, I want to use your house for a display. We've got such and so people coming in. And I said, oh gosh, how long do we have? She said, 2 weeks. And I thought, so I'm gluing these things and I'm leaning across the corner because I couldn't get into the corner. You can see I didn't do a very good job. And then I came down.
It looks fine to me.
When we were having one of those continuing ed day afternoons or faculty senate. I said, okay, I've got the room clean and the table's disinfected. I'm going to start gluing. I said, if anybody should call for me, I said, just take a message. And I laid down a bead of hot glue.
Boy, that was a job, wasn't it? Putting all that together.
And we had sorted. And we had all of the medium, not the small ones, but then we were having to use the little bit bigger ones. But Norman, I just started layering upon layering, back and forth and inside, and then I got up to where the hearth needed to stop. And then I did some more. And like I said, I was starting to run out of the smaller rock, but that would draft all the way up to the top. I mean, it would actually suck air from the bottom. And now that we've got the bigger rocks at the top, it's blocked off. But that's how that got started. And we went from the house to the covered wagon. I didn't have this on yet.
Right.
And I put the canvas on, excuse me, out of this one here. It shows, if I can get it, there's the floor, the two-step doors. Where's the roof? Okay, I'm a little bit further back. There's a roof and a floor. That's fresh water. That's the hand-dug well. Oh, here's where the Indians came in.
Oh, that's where they made friends with the chief?
Yep. And
saved their lives.
Laura's, well, they're covered in skunk skins, and they just stunk up the whole
Oh,
place.
I bet they were thinking.
They were awful. And let me find the part where here he's putting the
there's
roof
house.
on.
Yeah.
He's putting the roof on.
Now, he built this by himself?
Yeah, Mr. Edwards helped him.
Oh, okay. Now, what was the relationship between Mr. Edwards and
He was just
Paul?
a neighbor. He lived on, remember the map with the boundary? He lived on the other side.
Okay.
So he was not affected and did not have to leave, but they did. And so he was Pa had gathered and cut logs.
So he went with them whenever they had to leave?
No, he kind of stayed. He kind of stayed. There's the shepherdess. Here it is. They're putting over here. Let me find the part with where he's trying to put the canvas. Over top of the roof. Well, he's sitting up on top of the roof and it's about to blow him off a roof and a floor. That's the wooden roof. Okay, somewhere it shows that he's sitting on top and he's about to be blown off. But Tam reminded me, she said, now Mom, don't forget. Oh, somebody's coming in. She said, don't forget, that canvas that comes off of that covered wagon, hi, come on in. That canvas, when it comes off and it's completely opened up, has to fit the house. So you can't make your canvas any bigger than what covers that roof. And I'm thinking, oh, what is that?
So they used the canvas off the wagon for the house?
Yes, exactly.
And that determined the size of the house that they were to build? Okay.
If it didn't have I wish I could find that. I know it's right in here somewhere. Why am I missing it? That's that one, because he pulls it off and he's sitting up there and he's about blown away. He's trying to keep...
Now, where was Mr. Edwards from? He was just settling out there?
He calls himself a wildcat from Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not even going to try and find it. I just know it's in there somewhere. Yeah, he calls himself a wildcat from Tennessee. And he also sees them much later. He's the one that brings Christmas to them over the flooded, riverbeds and stuff.
So what we see in the Little House on the Prairie, the TV series, actually happened.
Yes, but now
There's a little poetic license,
Hollywood's taken some extra license. In the series, you see Mary and Adam getting married. Mary never married.
Oh, okay.
But that added some more series
You
years.
gotta have a little,
little
romance
romance there. And